Get a Job in Tech, episode 205. Working in a data center. What is it like? How do you get jobs there, essentially? A data center is a giant building, essentially. You've probably been to an Amazon or near an Amazon fulfillment center. They're pretty giant. The difference being is usually fulfillment centers have a bunch of semi-truck trailers on the side or the back, and versus like a data center is not going to have a lot of tractor trailers because usually they don't need a lot of product in and out every day. The other thing is usually data centers are going to be next to they're going to have a lake usually next to it because they need water for their data center. And as well as they're going to be near a power station. And for example, Amazon, AWS, basically Amazon, they paid, I think they acquired a data center for about $500 million earlier this year. And it was next to or near a 2.5 gigawatt nuclear powered station. That was in Pennsylvania somewhere. I think it was somewhere in Pennsylvania. And okay, so having said that, that's where it's at, or how you can recognize a data center. Now, working in a data center, essentially. So usually you work in a data center. Usually they don't have a lot of people working there, but they have a lot of servers. They have a lot of products that they sell. They have a lot of customers that you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even think they have a data center, but they do, nevertheless. So usually a data center individual, usually their day-to-day ranges, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. Having gone to a data center, I can tell you what they usually do. So you come in as a customer. My servers are in the data center. So what do? I go to the data center and I go there, show my ID. Okay, I'm here to work on servers or whatever I'm there to work on. And they're my servers, my company servers. They let me in. They say, okay, your servers are in this cage. And they go and let me into that cage, essentially. And then I do my work and leave. So for them, that's part of their work. The other part of their work is I'm a customer and I say, I see that I don't have power I have on my server, I have two power sources, A and B. Power supply 1, power supply 2. But I tell them, power supply 2, I see it's down. It's offline. And I just want to make sure that it's good to go. Can you, as the data center technician, go to the server itself and can you go and check it? Can you take a picture for me and just put it in it's usually a portal is what they have. So they'll be able to, you'll put a ticket in and they'll go and take the picture and they'll put the picture in the portal or however maybe they have a phone that they use, like a smartphone that the company gives them that's for the data center. So they would take a picture and then put it in the portal and you see, okay, so that means, so there's no power there. Okay. So which means probably most likely the PDU is bad. Maybe there's a bunch of power supplies you got power supply 1, which let's say on the left-hand side in the back of the rack, and then power supply 2, let's say that's on the right side, and a bunch of power supply 2 are down for whatever reason. Most likely that's a PDU. The PDU is, they use that term a lot, but a PDU is at your home, you have a power strip. So you plug in a bunch of computers or devices, 120 usually power. And just imagine it's the same thing essentially, but it stands up. And it mounted in a rack, of a back of rack. And they're usually about 4, 5, 6 feet tall for this PDU. And most of the time it's all 240. It's 240 volts is the PDU. That's what it's made for. And it is, I think it's 60 amp. I forget what the amperage is. 100 amp, I forget what it's rated for. But it's a lot. It's rated for a lot of amperage. Unlike your normal GFE socket in your house, I think it's 30 amps. These are rated for a lot more. So that's a PDU. So as a data center technician, your job is to change the PDU. So I might say, can you guys change the PDU out? And I'm not going to pay for the PDU because I'm providing them with, or I'm paying for that service. So I might pay $10,000, let's say a month, for my own cage, and I have, let's say, 20 servers, or not 20 servers, but 20 racks, and each rack is maybe holds 40 servers. So I have 8 racks, 40 servers each, and it's a cage. It's like 10 grand a month, let's say. Now that's for power. That's for them to maintain it, like the power, internet, all that. But not to actually manage my servers, just to hold them there. So they're going to change the PDU for you. Now you as a technician, here's where the critical thinking or the attention to detail comes in. You go to the PDU and you look in the back of it, and you're trying to change it, obviously. So you need to find at the bottom, the subfloor. You pull it up, pull up the tile, go in there. Where's it plugged to? Okay, fine, I got it. Good. And so you first recognize where all the cables are going to. How does it work? How can it do this without disrupting any other power, any other cables, etc.? And you find a way to do that, and then you replace it. Now, obviously, not every data center or rack is going to be clean and neat. All the cables in the back are not neat and clean. So you have to navigate through that and unplug it and then replace it, while at the same time not disrupting any cables, not unplugging any Ethernet cables accidentally. So that's where pictures come in. So maybe you take a picture of the back and you say, okay, I've unplugged this, and I noticed this Ethernet cable is offline. Did I unplug that before? I'm not sure. That's why you take a picture and you see, okay, that was already unplugged, so, or offline. Okay, I'm good there. Anyway, you replace the PDU, update the customer, all is good. And you don't have to worry about the power as a data center tech. That's somebody else's job. Now, obviously, the PDU has an interface on it where you can check the voltage, or the amperage, excuse me, on it. And a lot of those systems are tied in so that at any given time, you're going to know, throughout the whole data center, you're going to know what areas are deficient in power. Maybe you have low power in whatever cage or whatever section, and you got to figure there is thousands and thousands of servers here, many, many customers. And so you're going to have a system, because there's no way you can check all that. So there's a system. It's like a monitoring system for power, and it monitors the voltage level and all that stuff, amperage, like I said. And some places do, some places don't, but usually the good ones are going to all monitor this type of stuff. But the person in charge of the power, let's say the box where all the PDUs go to, all the power is driving to or terminating from, someone else is going to manage that. And usually you're going to have like an A side and a B side, left and right, usually, for the power, all the PDUs to plug into. And they usually use 240 because it's more efficient in the data center. And so that's basically your job. There's more to it than that, but there's a lot of it there. Now, a customer might ask you to rack a server as well. That means just plug it in. And so you're going to have you don't have to physically do it. Sometimes good data centers are going to have it's a cart. On the cart, you put you put the server on the cart, and it raises it up. And you raise it to the level, and you slide it into the rack. You put the rack rails in, you slide in the rack, and you plug it in just like the customer wants. And you take a picture. Here's what I did, etc. And then can I power it on? Yes or no. Customer says go ahead and power it on. Or maybe they're going to do it because you plugged in like the ILO, or Dell calls it iDirect. So HP calls it ILO, and Dell calls it the iDirect, which is just it's a way to remotely, as like I'm able to power on or power off my server remotely, as long as that Ethernet connection's in on the server itself. I can turn it on and off. You don't have to worry about that. You're the data center technician. Your job is to plug it in and get it working, and the customer will tell you the next steps. So attention to detail is very, very critical. And then, you want me to do this? Here's what I'm doing. You always let them know. You don't want to make a misstep here. You do not want to make a misstep, because there a lot of money is being relied on. A lot of money is passing through these servers at any given time. You don't know. You have no idea what customers are out there, and you don't know what they're using. You don't know a lot of databases, etc. And so, if they can trust you as a company, a data center, then they're going to use you. So that's a data center technician's job. And if it goes to say, like, if I'm a company, if I'm Amazon and I spend $650 million, or $500 million, a little more than $500 million on a data center, that means my data center, I'm just buying the building. I haven't put any servers in yet. So I'm buying the building, I'm putting the infrastructure in, the power, getting everything ready, the racks, all that. So I'm going to make 4 or 5 times more just in that alone. So you can imagine, if a customer's getting charged $10,000 a month for a cage, in general, some are more, some are less. You can imagine how big a data center might be just to hold all this servers. So when you're looking out there and you're looking for a job, let's say, just put in like data center technician or data center administrator, just to get an idea of what it's like to work there. If you go in the interview, you focus in on your willingness, your reliability, not reliability, your attention to detail. Very critical. Attention to detail and the ability to critically think. Critical thinking. So those are the two things to focus on to get into the data center. Obviously, you have to have some skill set, some tech skills. But if you don't, then just rely on those other two things. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next one.